Enotria The Last Song is a beautiful and vibrant Souls-like filled with some neat ideas and inspired by Italian lore and culture. Welcome everyone, StealthyShiroean here, and today I'm taking a first look at Enotria, developed and published by Jayama Games. This is my third daily video covering demos from the Summer Steam Next Fest. If you'd like to hear my thoughts on the other demos that I tried, then follow the cards or links in the description, but not before seeing what Enotria has to offer. Okay, let's get to it. The developers describe Enotria as a summer Souls, because of its bright and vibrant world filled with eye-catching sunflower fields and colorful tapestries. This game was an absolute treat to explore and was a breath of fresh air from many other games like this. The character designs were great, with the eccentric clothing and mask each enemy had, or the player character, as masks play a very important role. I especially liked exploring the town you come across, as it had some sort of celebration going on. Everyone seems to be in a drunken revelry and music is playing. It's definitely a different take from what I've come to expect with the genre. Each region seemed distinct and made me want to explore more of the land of Enotria. And I don't usually talk about music that much in games unless it really stood out to me, and well, it did here. I love the music in this game, especially the upbeat track with the first boss fight. I definitely see this as an OST that I'll be listening to outside of the game. Story was the one thing that really fell flat for me though, but the same can be said with almost any Souls-like game. For some reason, storytelling in these games always have to be vague and indirect, where much of the story and lore is told through item descriptions and a few bits of dialogue and cutscenes. That's not really my cup of tea, but hey, it's par for the course. According to the Steam page, players take the role of the maskless one, which is very important, because every other inhabitant in this world is cursed to play in an eternal play known as the Combatcho. As a maskless one, you have no role, so I guess you decide to face the people who run the show and bring peace to the land. Or something like that. There was one character I came across who had some friendly dialogue to say, but it honestly wasn't much. I'm hoping to maybe get something more overt as we continue through the game, but we'll see. So, obviously, as a Souls-like, anyone jumping into Enotria should expect a certain level of difficulty. Comes with the territory. I'd say Enotria opts for a much more aggressive style of play rather than defensive. Much of the gameplay revolves around dodging or parrying to find openings in the enemy's attacks. You won't be doing much blocking here, if any, because I don't even think that's possible. Every enemy has a poise value. What the Enotria equivalent for that is, I don't remember. But as you attack, you build that bar. Parrying is incredibly important to building this bar quickly, but if you're like me, then you're not that good. I was getting a little better, which told me that it's all about practice and timing, which I guess it always is, but I felt that I could actually do it. Although I didn't try it too much, mainly because I wanted to see as much of the demo as I could, but also because I was playing with a style that supported dodges over parries. This was something I greatly appreciated and was admittedly a bit relieved. I've never been good at parrying in these games and always opt for other playstyles if I could help it. At the start, I thought that parrying might be the only real way to play, but as I continued, that definitely wasn't the case. And the combat felt pretty good throughout. Attacks registered just fine, and all the weapons felt like they had appropriate weight to them. Although I did feel that all of the weapons felt slow. I never found something that was quick like a rapier, despite finding swords with rapier in their names. They were either long swords or great swords. Along with those, I also found various morning stars, which were my primary weapon, and I had a colossal sword that I pretty much never used because it was way too slow. One gripe I had is with dodging while locked onto an enemy. Although, I'll be the first to admit this might simply be a skill issue. My issue that I had is that sometimes when I would dodge in a certain direction when locked on an enemy, it wouldn't dodge in the direction I wanted. I felt this might be because of the camera fighting against the controls when locked on. More specifically, I noticed this problem in close quarter fights, especially with this guy who made me say so many expletives in my quest to kill him. Which, full disclosure, I did, and I got a sick mace for my troubles. A cool feature of Enotria, and one of the main things besides the setting that really intrigued me, was their use of masks and different loadouts. Close to the start of the game, you receive 2 masks that each have their own bonuses. One favors range combat with your skills, and the other favors dishing out heavy melee damage. Along the way, you can gain access to new masks from defeating bosses, or finding enough shards from enemies to craft their specific mask. Obviously, each of these masks will affect how you play the game, but Enotria allows for the ease of switching between 3 loadouts at any time during play, even in the middle of a fight. Each loadout can have a different mask equipped along with different weapons, skills, consumable items, and most importantly, 6 different passives. You gain points that you could spend on several passives in a large branching tree. How you get these points? Well, I couldn't tell you. I don't think it was by leveling up, but maybe beating certain kinds of enemies? I'm not sure, and actually lack of information was a recurring thing that I'll touch on later. However, as far as passives go, you can get several and then slot them to create all sorts of builds. With mine, I eventually found enough range skills, and I tried to go for passives that would help me charge my skills quickly so I could continually use them. Although I only ever used the one mask for most of my time playing, I could see theory crafters really go crazy with this system. It seems to offer a lot of flexibility and allows players to experiment with whatever playstyle they want. The encouragement to try out new ways of playing is extended to weapon upgrades, where you could refund the materials put into the upgrade. Although I never did this, so I'm unsure if it's a partial refund or the whole amount. And even the attributes are done in a way to not feel like any one point is wasted if you want to change up builds. Attributes, or virtues as they're called here, affect a variety of stats rather than focusing on solely one. This means that even if you want to change to a completely different playstyle, then your virtues should still cover that in some way. Although perhaps there is some feature to completely respec if a player really wanted to min-max their character. Before I jump into my final thoughts, please consider giving this video a like if you enjoyed it, as that helps me out greatly with the YouTube algorithm gods. Overall, I put a little over 3.5 hours with the demo, and I actually didn't complete the whole thing. I beat the first boss and started exploring the second area, which I hear also has a boss that capstones the demo. So you definitely can have enough time with it to determine if it's something you'd like or not. Obviously, I enjoyed this game a lot. There is a learning curve though, not just with the weapons and timing like it is with any Souls-like, but even some of the terminology. Actually, if there's one thing I'd suggest to the devs, then it would be to please log those tutorial prompted messages somewhere. I saw there was a compendium tab, but I couldn't access it. That seems like the perfect place to put those messages so players can consult them whenever they need to. The reason being is because things aren't always immediately understood, such as with elemental defenses. Instead of the typical fire, earth, water, wind, or whatever, it's vis, fatuo, gratia, and milano. Apologies for the pronunciation. But what are these? Are they just Italian for normal elements as we've seen in other games, or something else? Status effects are also similar with Dizzy, Wicked, Radiant, and Sick. Normally you'd expect these to be bad or good, but in Enotria, status effects are both. While unique, this is something that's really not done in games, so once that tutorial prompt came up telling me about the status effects, I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I immediately forgot what they did right after. So yeah, this information needs to be readily available and easier to understand. If the demo for some reason isn't available after Next Fest, then the next chance you'll have to jump into the game will be on September 19th when the game fully releases. But if you do play the demo, then let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if not, then let me know if it looks like something you'd be interested in or if you have any other questions. Now we're about halfway through Next Fest, but I'll be continuing to give more coverage on games, so check back tomorrow. I hope this video helped you in some small way, and if it did, then please consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe, or whatever it is you feel like doing. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.